Modern tools, especially those leveraging artificial intelligence, often present themselves as solutions capable of automating entire workflows. They suggest a future where tedious tasks vanish and complex outputs materialize with minimal human intervention. This narrative is compelling, implying a significant reduction in effort and an increase in output. However, a closer examination reveals that this promise is frequently incomplete. The 90% of work that is easily automated was often never the primary challenge to begin with. Every powerful tool, despite its advanced capabilities, quietly hands the hardest part of any task back to the human operator. While a machine can generate components, process data, or assemble pieces according to predefined rules, it does not inherently possess the capacity for critical judgment. The core decisions, what constitutes good, how disparate elements should fit together, and who takes responsibility for the final outcome, remain firmly within the human domain. This is not a design flaw, it is an inherent characteristic of automation. The true bottleneck in most creative and product development processes is not the speed of execution or the volume of generated content. It resides in taste, strategic decisions, and ultimate accountability. A tool can multiply the easy work, allowing for rapid iteration and mass production of potential solutions. Yet, the critical path still runs through a human mind that must discern quality, make definitive choices, and bear the consequences of those choices when a product ships. This bottleneck is impervious to current automation efforts. Discussions on platforms like Hacker News frequently highlight this phenomenon in the context of AI-generated products. While AI can write code, design interfaces, or draft marketing copy, the consensus often points to a lack of fully working, standalone products emerging directly from these tools. The raw outputs require significant human curation, integration, and refinement to become a viable, shippable product. The initial excitement for full automation quickly gives way to the realization of the enduring human role. The phrase "it does everything for you" is invariably a little false. What it truly means is it does everything that can be codified and repeated for you. This includes data entry, boilerplate code generation, initial draft creation, or statistical analysis. These are tasks that, while necessary, often lack the nuanced interpretation, creative leap, or ethical consideration required for a finished product. The machine handles the quantifiable, the repeatable, and the predictable. The human handles the subjective, the novel, and the responsible. A working product implies more than just functional components. It means a coherent, valuable, and reliable solution that addresses a specific user need, fits into a market, and operates without critical flaws. An AI can generate 1,000 lines of Python, but it does not inherently understand user experience, market fit, or long-term maintenance implications. It outputs pieces. Humans build systems. The difference is subtle but profound, marking the boundary between raw output and a genuinely shippable product. Consider the historical trajectory of automation. Early machines automated physical labor, lifting, assembly, calculations. Computers then automated data processing, sorting, searching, copying. AI continues this trend by automating cognitive, but often repetitive, tasks such as summarization, pattern recognition, and content generation within specified parameters. The common thread is the automation of the easy 90%, the work that can be precisely defined and executed without subjective input. The problem was never the repetition, it was the judgment. In software development, AI tools can generate code snippets, suggest functions, or even scaffold entire applications. This accelerates the initial coding phase significantly. However, these tools do not understand the architectural vision, the intricate interdependencies of a complex system, or the long-term maintainability requirements. A human developer must still review the code, integrate it into the existing codebase, ensure it meets performance standards, and debug unforeseen interactions. The AI provides building blocks, the human constructs the edifice. For content creation, AI can draft articles, generate social media posts, or even produce video scripts based on prompts. This capability is useful for overcoming writer's block or producing high volumes of generic content. Yet, a human editor is indispensable for injecting a unique voice, ensuring factual accuracy, aligning the message with brand values, and understanding audience nuances. The AI offers raw material, The human crafts the narrative. Without human oversight, content often feels bland, repetitive, or outright incorrect. AI-powered design tools can generate multiple logo variations, layout suggestions, or even 3D models based on basic parameters. This can rapidly explore design space. However, a human designer must still determine aesthetic appeal, user experience, and emotional resonance. The machine cannot understand subjective beauty, intuit user flows, or interpret complex brand identities. It presents options. The human applies taste and strategic intent. The final selection and refinement require human sensibility. Taste is a complex human faculty involving an appreciation for aesthetics, nuance, and subjective quality. It is informed by culture, experience, and individual preferences. An algorithm can identify patterns in data and predict what is statistically popular, but it cannot truly feel or discern beauty or effectiveness in a human sense. It lacks the personal context to make judgments that resonate deeply with other humans. This fundamental limitation makes taste one of the hardest parts to automate. Strategic decisions involve foresight, risk assessment, and understanding complex, often ambiguous, long-term implications. While AI can analyze vast datasets to inform decisions, it struggles with situations lacking clear historical precedents or requiring entirely novel approaches. Human leaders must weigh competing priorities, integrate imperfect information, and accept responsibility for outcomes that may only become clear years later. AI provides data points. Humans plot the course. Perhaps the most fundamental non-automatable aspect is accountability. When a product fails, or a decision leads to negative consequences, a human entity must ultimately take responsibility. An AI does not experience regret, learn ethical lessons, or face legal repercussions. The concept of blame, praise, or ownership is intrinsically tied to human agency. This means that even if an AI makes a recommendation, the human who greenlights it is the one accountable. This remains an unwavering human task. AI operates best within well-defined contexts and with explicit parameters. It struggles significantly when the context shifts subtly, or when the rules are implicit, culturally specific, or emotionally charged. Humans possess an innate ability to infer context, adapt to ambiguity, and understand unspoken cues. This contextual understanding is vital for ensuring a product is not just functional but also appropriate, empathetic, and truly useful in the real world. AI generates text. Humans provide meaning. AI excels at generating a vast array of potential solutions based on given problems and constraints. However, defining the *correct problem, understanding its root causes, and selecting the optimal solution from a multitude of AI-generated options still requires human insight. True problem-solving often involves reframing the issue, identifying unseen variables, and making intuitive leaps that current AI models cannot replicate. AI provides ingredients. Humans cook the meal, deciding the recipe and the presentation. The ability to synthesize disparate ideas, technologies, and user needs into a coherent, innovative product is a distinctly human endeavor. AI can analyze vast amounts of data from different domains, but it does not inherently connect them to form a novel, emergent solution that truly addresses an unmet need. This requires creative insight, cross-domain knowledge transfer, and an ability to envision something entirely new. AI provides information silos. Humans build bridges between them. For any product to succeed, especially those involving human-to-human interaction or sensitive data, trust and empathy are paramount. These are qualities that an AI, by its very nature, cannot genuinely possess or convey. While AI can simulate empathetic responses, users ultimately interact with systems knowing a human is behind the design and oversight. Building lasting relationships with users, understanding their emotional needs, and adapting based on genuine human feedback remains the domain of human creators and leaders. The process of iteration and refinement in product development is cyclical, involving continuous feedback, testing, and adjustment. While AI can process feedback data and suggest improvements, the critical interpretation of that feedback, prioritizing changes, and making trade-offs requires human judgment. Deciding which fixes genuinely improve the user experience versus merely addressing a symptom is a nuanced task that AI struggles with. AI outputs data. Humans refine the product. Quality assurance often involves more than just automated testing for bugs. It requires understanding user expectations, anticipating edge cases, and ensuring the overall feel and reliability of a product. While AI can assist in identifying code errors or performance issues, the subjective assessment of quality, usability, and fitness for purpose is still a human responsibility. A product can be technically bug-free but still feel bad to a user. This badness is a human perception. Many complex systems exhibit emergent properties, behaviors that arise from the interaction of individual components but are not predictable from the components themselves. AI tools can generate components but often fail to predict or manage this emergent complexity. Human engineers and designers must anticipate these interactions, design for resilience, and troubleshoot unforeseen systemic issues. The synthesis of simple parts into a complex, reliable whole is a human art. The ethical implications of product design and deployment are inherently human concerns. An AI has no moral compass. It operates on statistical probabilities and learned patterns. Deciding whether a product is fair, unbiased, respectful of privacy, or beneficial to society requires human ethical reasoning, societal understanding, and legal interpretation. The responsibility for ethical outcomes cannot be outsourced to an algorithm. It is a cornerstone of human-led product development. While AI can help track and analyze various metrics, defining what constitutes success for a product is a strategic human decision. Is it user growth, revenue, impact, or something else entirely? These definitions are tied to business goals, market position, and overall vision. An AI can optimize for a given metric, but it cannot decide which metric is most important or why. Humans set the targets. AI helps monitor progress towards them. Integrating various components, whether AI-generated or manually crafted, into a seamless, cohesive product is an art. It involves not just technical compatibility but also ensuring a unified user experience, consistent branding, and smooth operational flow. An AI can generate individual pieces, but the human architect is responsible for the overall structure, harmony, and elegance of the integrated whole. Poor integration can render even brilliant individual components useless. Tools are designed to amplify human capability, not replace human judgment. By automating the easily repeatable and quantifiable tasks, they free up human time and mental energy to focus on the truly challenging aspects: creativity, critical thinking, strategic planning, and empathic understanding. If a tool could handle these hardest parts, it would essentially be a sentient, fully autonomous entity, which is beyond current technological capabilities. The design inherently funnels the intractable problems to the human. As AI continues to advance, the nature of human work will shift, not diminish. Instead of performing rote tasks, humans will increasingly focus on higher-order cognitive functions. This involves supervising AI, interpreting its outputs, making final judgment calls, and innovating in areas where true intelligence, meaning, context, empathy, and creativity is required. The value of human skills will move up the cognitive stack, emphasizing leadership, vision, and human-centric problem-solving. Ultimately, every successful product is an extension of human intention, understanding, and effort. While AI can contribute significant computational power and generation capabilities, the thread of human judgment, taste, and accountability runs unbroken from conception to deployment. This link ensures that products serve human needs, reflect human values, and can be trusted by human users. Removing this link risks creating technically proficient but ultimately irrelevant or harmful products. Consider a comparison between raw AI output and human-curated products. A raw AI-generated blog post might be grammatically correct but lack personality, depth, or nuanced perspective. A human-curated version, using the ARI's draft as a starting point, would infuse voice, add unique insights, and ensure brand alignment. The technical baseline might be similar, but the value proposition diverges significantly, demonstrating the irreplaceable layer of human contribution. AI truly automates the tasks that are rule-based, data-intensive, and repetitive. This includes mundane data entry, pattern recognition in large datasets, generating variations of existing content, or performing calculations. These are critical functions for efficiency and scale, liberating humans from drudgery. However, These are precisely the tasks that are not the hardest part of creating a compelling product. The critical thought, the spark of inspiration, the final responsibility, these remain untouched by full automation. AI often produces outputs that are good enough for a preliminary stage but rarely excellent for a final product without human intervention. The difference between good enough and excellent lies in the subtle refinements, the nuanced choices, and the understanding of what truly elevates a product. This gap is precisely where human taste and judgment become indispensable. An AI can paint by numbers. A human artist adds the unique brushstrokes that make it a masterpiece. While AI can scale repetitive processes almost infinitely, scaling human judgment, taste, and accountability is inherently difficult. These qualities are personal, developed over years of experience, and often defy simple codification. You cannot simply copy and paste good judgment across an organization or an AI model. This scarcity makes human input even more valuable in an increasingly automated world. It's the unique resource that cannot be commodified. One of the hardest parts in any creative or problem-solving endeavor is not finding answers, but asking the right questions. AI can answer questions efficiently if they are well posed, but it struggles to formulate truly insightful, novel, or challenging questions that drive innovation. This ability to interrogate assumptions, explore unknown unknowns, and redefine problems is a critical human skill that tools do not possess. Asking the right question opens new pathways. AI excels at making predictions based on historical data. It can forecast trends, user behavior, or system failures. However, true human insight goes beyond prediction to explain why something might happen, to infer underlying motivations, and to devise truly innovative solutions that break free from past patterns. This is the difference between statistical correlation and genuine understanding, between an algorithm generating an outcome and a human understanding its implications. The real value proposition of AI is not in replacing humans entirely, but in augmenting human capabilities. By taking over the tedious, the repetitive, and the easily quantifiable, AI frees up human creators, developers, and leaders to focus on the truly impactful work, the strategic, the creative, the ethical, and the empathetic. It multiplies our capacity for the easy parts, so we can dedicate ourselves to the hard parts that only we can do. This synergy is where true progress lies. Instead of chasing the illusion of full automation, embracing the enduring human role in product creation is key. This means valuing and cultivating skills like critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, and ethical reasoning. It acknowledges that while tools change rapidly, the fundamental human capacities for judgment and responsibility remain constant and indispensable. The most effective approach leverages RE's strengths while doubling down on unique human contributions. In conclusion, the premise that AI doesn't generate working products, and that the hardest part is still your job, holds true. Powerful tools extend our reach and amplify our abilities on tasks that are largely mechanical or data-driven. However, they always leave the ultimate decisions, the nuanced aesthetic judgments, and the final accountability squarely in the human lap. The machine handles the 90% that was never the real problem. The real work, the definition of a working product, is forged in human intelligence, taste, and courage.